All of the problems in the squat start with the bottom position of the squat. So the first thing we always cover is just the bottom. So heels underneath your shoulders, toes out about 30 degrees, a little bit wider with your heels. Good. All right, so the positioning of the squat is his heels are gonna be kind of here on the outside of his shoulders, right? That's gonna be a general rule of thumb for most people. And then he's gonna have a little bit of toe angle, toes turned out about 30 degrees. We all know that when we lift, we don't want a bunch of movement in the back happening. So if I'm gonna squat, I want my back rigid. If I squat with toes forward, some of you guys that are on the internet, knees over toes guy, right? If I do this, as I go down, I can only go so deep, maintaining a flat back until my pelvis hits my femur. So then the only way to go deeper is to round my back out, which I don't want to do. So I'm turning his toes out about 30 degrees so that as he squats, he can push his knees out, externally rotate his femurs, and now sit down to proper depth without rounding out his back. So that's why we do that. So if you come into the gym and someone's like, no, turn your toes straight forward, you're like, no, I'm moving my femurs out of the way so that I can achieve depth without my low back rounding. Put your hands together like you're gonna pray, squat down, take your elbows and push your knees out. So put them inside your knees and push them out, good. Eyes are gonna be down kind of at the bottom of that tripod over there. This is the bottom position. This is called his hip crease right here where the shorts bunch up, and it's just beneath the top of the patella here. It's not way down deep, go real deep, right? It's not, it doesn't need to go there. It's just right there, parallel with the top of the kneecap. His knees are tracing out over his toes, like I just explained, and he's leaned over. He's more leaned over than a lot of us have envisioned in the squat. Eyes are down at the ground. That helps balance rather than looking all around. If you look down at the ground, you'll be in better balance. Now, he's got the most muscle mass back here in what we refer to as his hips. So Bob, just push that up and stand. Push your hips up and stand, good. That is what we call hip drive. When you're down in the bottom of the squat, everyone is it's gonna be heavy, they want it to be over, they're gonna wanna crank their neck up and try to lift the chest. I call it like opening a clamshell. We don't wanna do that. We wanna stay leaned over, eyes down, and drive through our legs so that the hips rise first. So right now, he's over exaggerating this hip drive, but once we get the bar in his back, you're gonna see this even kind of back angle. So go back down again, eyes down to the ground in front of you, and then push up against my hand and stand. Just like that, and let's do it one more time. Sorry, get your stance. Good, go back down, sit a block, drive up against my hand. Very good. All right, then we're gonna come right over to the bar. When we set the bar up to squat, it's gonna be about sternum height. The bar is not gonna rest up here on the traps. A lot of people you've seen in the gym, they put on these pads, right? And they put the bar way up here. Where the bar is on the back dictates my back angle. If you think about it, at the end of the day, he's going down and coming up without falling over. If it gets forward of midfoot, right, I'm gonna fall over. Or if it gets behind me, I'm gonna fall over. So I want it to be right over the middle of the foot. When I'm gonna put the bar on the back, I'm gonna put it low on the back. So everyone take your right hand, reach up over your left shoulder. There we go. And outside here, there's a little bony ridge right here. I'll try to find it all the way here on the lateral side, out here. Yep. That's the spine of your scapula. So he's got two scapulas here. Scapulas floating like muscle and fascia. They're not like, it's not a bone connected to another bone. And on the upper part of it, there's a little ridge. The bar is gonna sit just beneath that. Assuming all of you can do this, right? And some of you may not be able to do this. And if you're not, we may have you high bar squat, or we may have you use a safety squat bar or something like that. Because if I have really bad flexibility in the shoulders, I can develop a lot of pain. I can develop elbow tendonitis. There's different things that can happen. So anyway, when he walks up to the bar, it's at his sternum. Take a nice wide grip to the barbell. Let's go pinkies in the outside, breaking the knurl. Rotate your palms up a little bit, just like that. So what we're after when he squats is a neutral wrist. Half of you guys will be able to do this today. Some of you guys will be so tight, we're gonna allow some flexion or extension in the wrist. But in a perfect world, the wrists are neutral. Duck underneath and put the bar down here. Good. All right, just hold that position for a second. So he puts the bar low on the back, and you'll notice that his upper back, I didn't even tell him, he's got a little experience, is super tight. And when he tightens the upper back like that, the rear delts here kind of raise up, and the bar is like sitting on a shelf. You shouldn't be worried about the bar rolling down your back. If you're worried about it rolling down the back, you placed it here to start with. You placed it too low. Again, I'll walk you all through this, but I want you to conceptually understand. Now stand up, and take a step back. Good. All right, so he's got the same stance he had before, and we're gonna do the same thing we did before. Two things are different. You're not gonna stop at the bottom. You're gonna go down and you're gonna come right back up, and you have to actively push your knees out. Before we used your elbows, now you just have to do it with your brain. So stare at the baseboard, take a big breath of air in, sit back, lean over and squat. Good. Pause at the top, take a new breath of air, lead with the hips out of the hole. Pretty good. This time when you take a breath at the top, I want you to brace your abs like I'm gonna punch you in the gut. So breathe in right now, get tight here, and now squat. Come up, good, and 2 more. Not bad, and final rep. Good. Walk forward till you hit the rack and squat down. Good, step away. So whenever you're squatting, your setup has a lot to do with your success. So I was able to eyeball his height, pick a J-hook. These things are called J-hook. Pick a J-hook height. You'll notice when he walked in, he hit right here. He could even be one higher, but he hit here on the face of it, and then he squatted it down. Most of you guys say when you finish your rep, you're gonna start like looking for him. You'll be twisting and all this torque on your knee that's not needed. Step it out, walk back, perform, walk forward, hit the uprights, down into the rack. So I told him, breathe in and brace your belly. What we're trying to do is keep that low back from moving around. And the way we keep the low back from going into flexion, right? Flexion looks like rounding, extension this way, is the way we do that is by using our abs. So step back over here and face this way. If he's standing neutral, these are his lumbar muscles right here. Try to pull this up and tilt your pelvis down. Don't, just relax, relax, relax. So think about like tilting your pelvis this way. Yep, and then relax, relax. Just lift this. I might have to teach you. So look at me real quick.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Yep, and then relax. And then do it again, and then relax. Okay, now do it. And now take a big breath of air in and brace. Okay, good. So we're putting the low back in extension, and then I'm bracing. You can relax. The abs. All right, so we'll do a little drill. Lay down on your stomach. This is very normal, by the way, that we can't do it. I think it's a good thing. It's a good sign of the people we're dealing with. You know, you're not out dancing for a living. So lift your chest up and your hips at the same time. Don't use your hands. So you ever done a Superman? Nope. So this stays on the ground. Yeah, relax. And then do it again. Hold it, relax, and do it again. We're just having to do like 6 of these. Good. Stand back up. And now stand here and do the same motion. Just this. Lift this.
Think about it.
Kind of. Lift this up. Relax. Relax. Think about like so if this is your pelvis, right? This here, and it's full of water, and you like dump it. All right. You're just lifting your tailbones. Again, drop your dick down. A little bit. All right, we're gonna have to work on that. It's a tough thing, but sometimes laying down on the ground and doing that motion, you'll get it. But you struggled, but we'll get there today.